Hi everybody and welcome back to Lundy's Wild Camps Raw Bushcraft. And as you can see, we're out today to have a look at the East Hills Jungle Explorer hammock system. Okay, this system comprises of a tarp, the hammock itself, the tree huggers, elastics and tie downs and pegs. Okay, it's a reasonable size package. Okay, for a reasonable price. I think it's roughly around about the 67 to 70 pound mark. All right, so it's a good budget system at the minute. We'll take a look and see what we think of the actual product itself. But first of all, it comes in one large dry bag, okay, which seems quite a nice durable material. All right, and on the top it's got a nice clip on it as well, all right, with like a heavy duty plastic. Right, nice buckle, nice and easy. All right, so let's take a look and see what kind of products we've got inside. So first of all, we'll have the first bag coming out is the actual tarp. And as you can see, it goes quite small compared to the hand. Yeah, I've had this tarp out on a camp that you would have seen on Sunday, and we use this as the shelter. It's quite a decent sized tarp. All right, so we'll just quickly pull it out of the bag, and we'll get this little bag here. So the tarp itself is actually a grey colour, yeah, and inside the tarp itself it's actually got like a bit of a reflective material inside. The material itself feels very heavy duty and robust, but it's also very light as well at the same time. All right, looking at the fittings, the actual tie down points, it only has tie down points at the corners. It has none along the top of the ridge line, and then it has them in the center of each of the sections. The actual hammock itself, inside of here we'll have two lots of elastic. That is for to tie up the actual bug net. Two tree huggers, which look really good. I'm really impressed with them. We'll look at them a bit closer when we actually do the setup. So this is the hammock, and on it, obviously it's got a label still on it. It's got like a little strap that you can cinch it down and make it go smaller. Okay, it's got a draw cord on the top, and all we do is we just open that up, and straight away we've got one of the ends. All right, and as you can see, loop through all the actual hammock material itself is a bit of rope. I'm not a great fan of these. I'll probably get rid of this, to be honest, and change it, but we'll leave it on and see how it goes. All right, it seems tied on quite well with a big fat knot. I like the clips. The D-shackles are actually all right. Yeah, nice springy ones. I've got the names on them as well, similar to the ones I use in any weight. All right, now the actual bag it comes in stays attached to the actual hammock itself. All right, so it'll give you something to put stuff in when you've got your hammock set up, and then it's the same on the other side. We've got the bug net all attached already. Yeah, so now what we're going to do is let's get it set up. Right, so now for the process of actually setting it up, looking at the actual tree huggers themselves. As you can see, they've got loads of like writing on things about the names, and at one end it's got a nice loop on. It's actually triple stitched on there as well, so that's happy days. That gives me a lot of reassurance about these straps. I like the feel of the material and the length of them and the weight. They're very lightweight and seem very strong material, and the stitching on it is really good as well. It has a nice long bit of length before you actually get to the daisy chain part of it, and I think there's about 10 loops on it. All right, and as you can see, all the loops have got a triple stitching on either side of them, so that'll keep them nice and strong. So we've got our tree here, and when we put our hammock up, we need to go about head height. All right, so we just loop that round onto the tree, bring it through itself on that loop. All right, making sure it's in the center of the tree whereabouts you're going to be putting your actual hammock and then we'll do the same on the other side. Okay then, so now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be setting up the actual hammock. So keeping the hammock over your shoulder just to keep it off the ground, stop it getting wet and dirty, okay, because it's something you're going to be sleeping in, and the last thing you want to do is sleeping in a wet hammock. All right, obviously if it's raining, you'd put your tarp up first, but for this demo, we're just going to be putting the hammock up first, okay? So I'm going to grab a hold of the actual tree hugger, yeah, and then I'm going to just place it into one of the hoops. It doesn't matter which one it is at the minute because you're just doing an initial hook up, all right? And then walking over to the next one, all right? Making sure you've got the hammock facing the way that you want it. Obviously, I'm not sure if I'm on camera now because I'm quite far away from the actual the camera itself. And I'm just going to place that up onto there. All right. So, looking at the actual hammock itself, all right, you can see it's in between the two trees. Just move back a bit so we can get the actual trees into it. All right. The trees have got to be roughly about 5 to 6 large steps away. This is just under 5 steps, so I'm struggling a little bit for space. But then all I'm going to do is, just to get it up a bit, I'm just going to move it up on this other side here, a couple of bits. All right, and then that should be about the right height. So by the time I come onto it, we're just going to stand on here and then sit on the actual hammock itself at the minute, just to make sure it's nice and the right height. So you want your feet flat on the ground and your legs parallel with the ground as well, and that's a nice height for me. All right, and it looks like it's got a nice shape to it as well. Okay, so the next stage we'll have to get the elastics connected. Okay then, so getting a hold of a piece of elastic. All right, you've got these bits of material on the actual net. So all you need to do is find where the loops are on it. All right, we'll talk about the loops a bit in a minute, and then all we're going to do is we're going to loop it through there. Then there's another one in the centre, when we can find it. That's it there. They're a little bit fiddly, especially if it's a cold day or a cold night and it's wet. I think they're a bit fiddly myself. They're a bit thin. I'm just wondering if they're actually going to last the journey. All right, as you can see, I'm having a little bit of a struggle here getting a hold of them. All right. So that's the first one, thread through, all right, and then we're going to repeat the process on the other one. Right, now I've got the elastics connected, I'm just going to quickly show you the loops that they're going through. As you can see, it's a very, very thin material. There's no double stitching or anything on it, so I'm not very confident in them lasting, to be honest, but this is my honest review. You know, you can take my words with a pinch of salt if you want, but yeah. Right, so now we've got the elastic connected. What we're going to do is we're just going to wrap one of them around the tree, all right, and then we're just going to tie them as if you're tying your laces, all right. So it's a bit of a bow on one side, and then we're just going to try and raise it up a bit. Yeah, leave it on there for now, and then we're going to move across to the other side, and then we're going to do the same on the other. Okay then, so once we've got it tied onto the other end, all we're going to do is we're just going to move up to the next tree, all right, and then tie them around again, obviously above where your tree huggers are going. Try keep tight hold of them because it is elastic and it will try and spring out of your hands. All right, and we'll just double loop that again so make sure it stays on. All right, and then there we have it. There's the hammock set up, okay, the bug net's up, and as you can see, this is where the elastics are, and then all you need to do is just quickly come back to where your first one was, adjust that, all right, so it gets them level, and then what the thing is with this, it doesn't come with any spreader bars. I think if you had spreader bars on there as well, I think that would be a lot better like. Now, I can see inside here, there's some sort of like little clips in there. I'm not 100% sure what them are for, all right, but there seems to be 4 of them, one at that end, one at that end, and then 2 up at the far end as well. All right, so my first initial thoughts is looking at the hammock. It looks like a nice hammock. It looks like you're going to get a lot of room in there from the bug net. It's not actually going to be right in your face like some hammocks do. But what we need to do now is we're going to test it and see what it's like getting in and out. All right, so obviously, as you can see, you've got the bag here, and at the bag side you have 2 zips, all right, that seem to overlap each other as well. We'll take a little closer look in a minute. So I'm going to just open one of them, then open this other one all the way up, all right. And then looking at this, the actual hammock itself, you can see there's 2 different types of material. Well, 3 bits of material there in it. The large green bit in the middle, and then it's stitched on. It looks like triple stitching as well, so that's okay. And that's got like the lighter material on the outer side. There's a little bit of shoddy material there, stitching on the actual zip part, but it doesn't look too bad, to be quite honest. All right, so now we're ready to get into the hammock. So let's go for it, see what it's like. First of all, initially, it feels nice and comfy. I've got a nice height on it as well for sitting down. All right, the net is nice and high, as you can see. It's just full up behind my head, but it's right up here, so it's not getting in my way. All right, so let's just get into the actual hammock itself. Obviously, I've got my shoes on, and then yeah, I tell you what, like, to be quite honest, it's rather comfortable. Right then, so that's me inside the hammock, and I tell you what, it is humongous, absolutely massive, and I feel so comfortable as well. And there's still so much material left to play with. Look, it's absolutely massive, and on this side as well. So what's going to happen there is the material's going to stop the wind coming in. You're going to have an under blanket underneath you, stop all the heat getting out from the bottom and keep you nice and warm. The bug net, I'll just tip this upside down. As you can see, it's well away from my head. It's well high. Obviously, it loops down a bit, but if I make some makeshift spreader bars with that, look at the room you've got in here. Absolutely tons. And as I said before, up on the top, it has 2 little hooks attached on here, so obviously you'll be able to hang like your lights and things up, or even make some sort of a ridge line from this hook to the next hook, so you can put like a ridge line bag in. But if I have the spreader bars, that's going to be one. If you look at that, that's one big massive area, and it's way above your head, so that's quite impressive. Like, on the inside here, let's hope the camera's picking it up, it has a little phone pocket here, and it has another one down the bottom end, so that's happy days. Like, but I tell you what, it's a very, very comfortable lay, this hammock. I wasn't impressed when I seen the material, but I think it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, let's get back out the hammock, and it's easy to get out as well, so that's happy days. The zips on the hammock itself, all right, they go all the way around. I'm not going to do it, I have done it in the past and they're a nightmare to get back on. And they go all the way around, so you can actually detach the bug net itself in the winter time when we haven't got all the bugs flying around. All right, and like I said, these are the pockets on the inside. Yeah, for putting your phone on. They've got mobile phone pictures on them. So yeah, my first impressions when I seen it, and I've seen a couple of more videos of it, and I thought, I'm not really sure if I'm going to like that. But actually, after initially setting it up, it's yeah, and getting in it properly, it's a lot of room. So I think I might actually try this out on my next camp and take it out for a camp. And anyway, that's enough waffling. Let's get out that sun. That's enough waffling about the actual hammock. Let's see how the top goes. All right. Okay, so like I said, we've had a look at the hammock. Let's take a look at the actual top itself as well. All right. So initial thoughts is I'm not really keen on the actual pegs or the actual tie-outs that it comes with, but you know, that's what you get dealt with, so that's what we're going to use. Now, looking at the actual top part of the top itself, it has no tie-outs on the top itself. All right, the tie-outs as well, they don't come with any clips or anything. So what I'm going to do initially, I'm just going to throw this over the top of the hammock. Okay then, so we've got the actual top over the top of the hammock at the moment. Okay, it isn't tied down or anything. We've got these 4 pegs here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take them out of the bag and put them in my pocket for now so I know where they are. And I'm going to get a hold of one of the actual tie-outs itself. All right, just unravel it. And as you can see, there's nothing on one end, and then there's one of these little tightener things on the other end. But every single one of them has come like that, all right, where they haven't tied it down properly, so you're not going to be able to cinch it down. All right, but because this is going to go around the actual tree as well, because it's going to act as part of the ridge line, I'm not really concerned about that. So what I'm going to do, let's move this closer. So because this has got a loop empty on it and it's tied off on that, so I'm just going to loop that through there. Get that one through the hole, pull it through nice and tight. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it around the tree. As high as I can, because I like the top to be high. All right. And then we're going to pull it tight so it comes over there a bit. Bring it round. And tie it off. So as you can see, we've got the top here all set up. All right, it's a nice size top, as you can see. I'll have to look at the measurements. I think it's a 3x3. It looks like that, but obviously the hammock is quite long, obviously because it's for a double person, and it actually hangs out at one end. So obviously I think setting this top up in the diamond formation would be a much better formation for this setup. But obviously as the winter months come in, you want to be enclosed as much as you can, hence why I like this type of setup. Okay, so what I've done is the same as the ridgeline part. I've used these loops here, the tighteners. I've used them on there to put them through the actual eyelets on the top itself, and then pegged it down using their pegs as well. All right, and as you can see inside, there's enough room there, but it's still quite slack. All right, now looking on here, you can see the actual hammock is outside of the top itself. It needs to be roughly about the same distance here in over to stop the rain getting into you, obviously, because you don't want any of this bit sticking out, because you're just going to get soaking wet through the night if it rains. Moving across to the other side, you can see it's set up, and this is at the perfect distance I recommend in any way, being a hammock camper. So you've got the water coming down here, obviously if it's raining, then it's going to hit where your D-shackle is, and it's not going to go any further than that, because it causes like a drip here, and then all the water is going to run down the actual rest of the actual tree strap. All right, and it's not going to affect you here. All right, so my recommendations is, if you're going to use this full top setup in the rain, you're going to get wet unless you put it in a diamond formation. But looking at the top itself, it's a nice thick material. It's actually packs down really small, as you've seen at the beginning of the video, and I like the reflective side of it. Right, this is just a quick clip from a camp that I've done using the East Hill Outdoors hammock and top setup. Okay, I'd just like to state that setting it up in the diamond formation is the much better option for the top. It fits perfect onto the actual hammock itself, all right, covering it in a greater deal. So as you can see, you just have to bear with us for the mess, because I am actually packing up from camp now. So looking at the actual hammock system itself, it's a bit dark, so I'll put me outer light on just to give it a bit more brightness. As you can see, I've got this in the diamond formation, and it actually covers the ends of the hammock a lot better. It's exactly the same on the other side, okay. I'd just like to state that the DD under blanket obviously is a lot narrower than the actual hammock, so it was snug as a bug in there. Like, it was the most comfortablest sleep I've ever had. All right, looking at it, you can see the hammock fits into the under blanket perfect. All right, the net's nice and high up, it's well off your face. It was really comfortable. I never sleep for more than 4 hours at a time. I had 7.5 hours sleep in here. But as you can see, looking at the other side of the hammock, okay, you can see the difference in the gaps compared to what you're seeing on this review video. Okay, but I did use a Mewon ridge line, okay, with Plusik knots on and that, just to make sure it was up, all right. And obviously I've got the tie outs, one corner at a tree there and the other corner at this tree here, using the guide ropes that come with the actual hammock itself. All right, as you can see, this is the East Hills hammock and top. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that it is a very, very comfortable sleep inside the hammock system itself. And yeah, I'll definitely be using the hammock again. I found it very comfortable indeed. All right, now back to the original video. Okay then, so that's my quick look at the East Hills Outdoor Explorer Jungle hammock and tarp setup. All right, for a budget hammock and tarp, I think it's very, very good. All right, £67, that's all it costs. All right, it's big enough to get 2 adults in. So if you're going out camping with like one of your young kids, the pair of you can get in there. Your child's going to feel nice and safe because they're next to you. All right, the only thing that I would suggest you do is a couple of adjustments. First of all, you'll need an under blanket for it. Whether it's summertime or winter time, you always get cold from underneath, so always use a under blanket. Second of all, I would suggest swapping out the pegs, the tie outs, and put yourself a ridge line in there. That's what I'll be doing when I use this on my next camp. All right, other than that, the positive sides of it, okay, it's massive. It's a reasonable size package for what you're carrying, okay. It packs down nice and small. It's comfortable, all right. It's I wouldn't say it was the lightest hammock system I've ever seen with a tarp, okay, but the size of it is absolutely massive. I like the way the bug net keeps right up high. It's not right down low in your face. All right, you've got a couple of clips inside of there where you could set up some sort of a ridge line inside, and you can also clip your lights up and things in a little bag. Take a little bag inside there and clip that up. I would recommend getting some sort of spreader bars if the company would actually add them to the system. I think that would make it much better for it. But other than that, yeah, what can you ask for a budget setup? £67, all right. Would I buy this? If I was starting out from fresh and I had never been out wild camping before and I wanted to go hammock camping, it would be a possibility. Because when you first start out, you don't want to go spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on the top of the range gear. So what happens if you don't like doing it? So for me, if you're a new starter, I would recommend this. If you're a seasonal wild camper and you've done hammock camping before, I don't think this would be your cup of tea. All right, because there's better stuff out there. And if you do it all the time, you want the best of the best, don't you? If you can afford it. Yeah, So in any rate, I'd just like to say a big thank you to East Hill Outdoors for sending out this equipment for us to test out. It'll be getting a proper test on my next camp, okay? And all the links will be in the description below. Please go and check out the links. I'm not 100% sure if they're giving us a discount code. If they are, I'll put it up on the screen now, all right? And hopefully you might get some discount off that really cheap price of £67, I think it is, all right? And that's it really. So once again, everybody, thank you very much for watching. It's really appreciated, okay? Don't forget, check out the links, leave a comment. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Either way, it doesn't really matter. But if you do, please leave a comment and tell us why you like the video or why you dislike the video, okay? And that's it. So catch you on the next one when I'm out camping. See you later.